स्तन्यपाने पिपासुः नो शक्तश्चेन्द्रियेभ्यो भवमलजनिता जन्तवो मां तुदन्ति नानारोगातिदुःखादृदितपरवशः शङ्करं न स्मरामि क्षन्तव्यो मे पराध शिव 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 भो श्रीमहादेव शम्भो प्रौढोऽहं यौवनस्थो विषयविषधरे पञ्चभिर्मर्मसन्धो दष्टो नष्टो विवेकः सुतधनयुवते स्वादसौख्ये निषण्णा शैवे चिन्ताविहीनं मम हृदयमहो मानगर्वाधिरूढम् क्षन्तव्यो मे पराध शिव 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 भो श्रीमहादेव शम्भो वार्धक्ये चेन्द्रियाणां विकलगतिमतश्चाधिदैवाधितापैः प्राप्तैर्रोगैर्वियोगैर्व्यसनकृशतनोर्यतिहीनं च दीनम् मिथ्यामोहाभिलाषै भ्रमति मम मनो धूर्जटे ध्यानशून्यम् क्षन्तव्यो मे पराध शिव 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 भो श्रीमहादेव शम्भो
Good evening and a very warm welcome to all of you. Please come. Let's use the power of praying together and invoke the blessings of the Almighty. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryankara Vavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vedveshavahai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, the Omniscient, the Omnipotent, the Omnipresent, who also has a divine name as Nandanah, to such a supreme reality, together with Shraddha, Bhakti and Prapatti, we offer our humble most salutations. We seek your grace, your love, your mercy, your kindness, your benevolence, your affection, your forgiveness. O Lord, bless us with the divine qualities of Shraddha, Bhakti Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti and Mumukshutvam in a much more enhanced quantity. This is only and only to understand thy true self. In this very life and in this very body and mind, in this very jiva. This can happen only and only with your consent and willingness. Together we beseech in you, we pray to you, we insist on you to grant us this rarest of the rare privilege and opportunity to become one with you. Our humble salutations to the entire Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. By the grace of the Almighty and the immense blessings of the Guru Parampara, today we are on our Divine Discourse number 471 on the 7th of April 2026, which marks exactly 6 years of completion. And this can happen only by the grace of the Almighty. Undeterred, without a break in between. This yajna is going on. We pray to the Almighty to keep us going. On the Swasti Shri Parabhavanama Samvatsara Uttarayana Vasantarutu Chaitra Mas Krishna Paksha Tritiyam Tito Jeshta Nakshatra Vyatipata Yurama Yoge Taitulakarane. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all once again reaffirm, revisit, and reclaim our goal, our mission, our pledge. Naham karta, hari karta, hari preranaya, hari prityartam. It's you and you alone who is the doer. But due to ignorance and with your Maya, I have become an independent identity, behaving like completely different from you, embodied in the soul as the Jiva, living a life with likes and dislikes, with various other good and bad qualities, performing karma with a sense of ownership and getting bound by papa and punya, and again taking a birth to experience the papa and punya gained. Oh Lord, this is your own creation, samsara chakra. I know that you want me to be released from this, hence you are giving us this knowledge. we will stay put and seek your blessings and reach our goal. Om Tat Sat. Good evening, everybody. A warm welcome once again. And today we are on the Aparoksha Anubhuthi-58. And God willing, let's see, it should be the last session. I was going through much more in detail about what is this Aparoksha Anubhuti. Which we all have to get after studying so much, after doing so much of sadhana. Why we are still not able to understand? It's akshanam. Akshanam means indriyanam. Vishaya na bhavati iti aparokshaha. Meaning, that which is not an object of senses, very clear, not an object of senses, is called aparoksha. And one more terminology I came across, indriyair agocharaha api sakshat karavat pratitiha yatra saha aparokshaha. Meaning, that which is beyond the senses, but still directly realized is called aparoksha. So, if we are yearning for this, be very clear that your mind and senses have got no role to play in this. I can relate this very well with the famous saying and quotation of the Vedas, which says, Durlabham Manava Janmam. Ati Durlabham. Why? Because only the human mind has got the intellect, they say. The intellect to realize God. Now here, what I understand is that intellect is not this intellect what we have got, mind, intellect, memory and aham bhava. No. It is this Aparoksha Anubhuti intellect, which is the medium for us to understand that divinity. So like as we know, consciousness is all pervading. But where do I experience consciousness? I experience it in my entire body, more appropriately in my upper body, you can say, and still more appropriately in my mind. Which means only the mind has got the reflecting media for that consciousness. Like for example, you look around, there is a wall, there may be a window pane in front of you, then there is a curtain. Can you see your face in that? You go to all these places, you go out, no, I want to see my face. You go and stand in front of a tree, can you see your face? You look at the sky, can I see my face? You cannot see. But the moment you go in front of a mirror, immediately that reflection comes. Even without you asking, saying, it comes. Which means only the mirror has got the reflecting medium. In the same way, our minds. Now when we say minds, all the living beings, the minds of all living beings have got that reflecting medium in various capacities. Just like you have a 0 bulb and you have a 1000-watt bulb also. Various capacity of the bulb. So the mind is also of that capacity. But now the difference, we talk about Aparoksha Anubhuti here, the difference is by the practice of this knowledge, eventually another faculty of your mind will open up, which will be able to reflect this knowledge, and that will happen only when you fill your mind with the Brahmakara Vritti. Jagat Akara Vritti you have to remove. Now we are all filled with Jagat Akara. Okay, now by the grace of God, with this constant learning, we are putting in all Brahmakara Vritti. But still there is a mixture of Brahmakara Vritti and the Jagat Akara Vritti. See, when we were young, we had ink bottles. Now the ink bottle is over. So we buy another bottle, new bottle. And what you see that ink is already over. Now you put it under a tap. My God, it gives so much of blue color. And till the time, you see slowly the blue color starts getting diluted and eventually there is no blue color. It only gives you white color. So here, what exactly is happening is, when you are cultivating this Brahmakara Vritti, you think I am doing so much of practice I am doing. But it is like that ink bottle. If you just pour some water, you said, "Arey, I could have used for some more time. There is so much of ink over which is stuck to this bottle." So likewise, you have to remove each and every stain of that ink in that bottle. How do you do that? By pouring water. What water? Brahmakara Vritti into your mind. For some time till you reach a stage, we have to give that dedicated practice. I am only talking out of self-experience. Just as simple as when we study with dedication for our exams. That's all. Exams are there. Okay, now I study, maybe start from 6 months before the exam, depending on what exam it is, or 3 months before, or 1 month before. Some are there who study for just a week. But again, if you want to be on the top bracket, if you want to score high, you put in more effort. So this needs that 100% effort of yours. And then eventually, as Bhagavan Shankaracharya concludes in this book, he says, if you want to make it easy and fast, then the Krupa of Eshwara is required. This is the journey. So today I'll take you from 40th verse. We have to move ahead. We'll complete that. But my interest is more in terms of giving you practical lessons for attaining this. There is so much to study. And if you get lost in studying, you'll only be studying. But this is not worth studying everything. My approach has been, is this taking me to where I want to go? That's all. If it is not, I'll keep it aside. I don't want to study that. The reason is because we have limited time. You have to first study, you have to understand, then you have to practice it. How do I practice it? So I'll share some techniques, how one can. Now what we are doing, apart from those four, Manaha, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara, what faculties we have in the mind, which all put together we call as mind. This fifth one which will emerge, which has the capacity to give us the experience of the divine, which is the Aparoksha Anubhuti. And that can come initially for a few seconds and then again go away. Then again it will remain for a much longer time and again go away. So that goes by your practice. And what is that practice? Brahmakara Vritti. Filling your mind with Brahmakara Vritti. Tat katanam, tat chintanam, tat parasparam prabodhanam. If you are talking about it, keep talking about it, keep thinking about it, keep telling about it. See, various ways. Talking is where you are, when you are listening, that is also comes under a two-way conversation. But wherever possible, you have to talk about it. So when you do on these lines, then you are filling your mind with this. Otherwise, what happens? That is where you have to choose your company also. With whom you are sitting, with whom you are moving. And if those people are going to talk about the world, the war and political situation and something about the movies and this and that, then what are you going to do? There, that Brahmakara Vritti will start going down. Then again you will have to fill up. So if you keep going down and filling up, going down and filling up, when will you achieve the 100%? So till you achieve that 100%, put in your best. That much we have to do to achieve this. Okay. And then we also have one question from Shamla, where she asked about the subtle difference between the last session, which was about the Raja Yoga and Hatha Yoga. What is that difference? So we'll listen to her question, and also I'll answer that question. That will also help you. Because the 143rd verse, Bhagavan Shankaracharya makes it very clear. If you feel that you are not ready enough, then practice more of Hatha Yoga. And if you feel that you are ready enough, then practice Raja Yoga and move ahead. That way. Okay. Now we start with verse 1, this from 41. Okay, now a background till here. What happened now? Jiva, what is its understanding? I am this person. Obviously, I have a mind, I have a body, I have my senses, and outside the world there are objects of senses. And my senses and the objects of senses, they interact. Then the mind gets the stimuli and it interacts with the intellect. Intellect takes a decision. Organs of action get into action. And that's how we are performing in this world. And then we also know that we were born and we are going to die. And during the time, from the time of birth till the death, we are so-called living beings. And what is that living being? Because we have got life. I'm talking in very simple terms, where we have all come from that place now. So which means we have life, and that life is, we call it as life, kind of awareness, senses, sense of understanding, okay, these terms. But now somebody comes and tells you, you have consciousness. Okay, fine, we'll, instead of saying awareness, we'll say consciousness. So now where is this consciousness? It's in my body. So this whole conglomerate of body, mind, senses is, in this there is something called consciousness. So from the beginning there, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he first talks about qualifications, very clear. He says you want to enter this spectrum of activity, first know whether you are qualified. After the prayer, he starts there. And he says, without which you will not be able to perform. See, for example, you are a tailor. You need certain apparatus with you. You need a measuring tape. Then you need a stitching machine. You need a good pair of scissors to cut the cloth. And then you need some chalk. And then you also need some ruler, they have specific rulers with angles, without which what tailoring you will do. So in the same way here he says, do you have that qualifications? After qualifications, then he comes into telling us, look, what you have understood first, let us go from there. You have mixed up the consciousness and your body, mind, senses together. He says, the truth is that you are the Atman, that consciousness within you. But I don't want to tell you straight, because you are in the feeling that you are the body, mind and senses. Now, unless and until you know that you are not this, you will not accept the fact that you are that consciousness. So there he starts his journey. And with various examples he tells us, you are not this body. You are not this mind, you are not this prana, you are not this intellect, you are not these senses. And there he slowly brings us up to this stage. And then In verse 41, he himself puts a question. What have you done? Now you have very successfully segregated the body, mind, senses as one part and the Atman consciousness as the other. You have made two now. And according to Dvaita, there is no two. What have you done? He uses that word, Yatokta Tarka Shastrena, Tatakyam Purushartata. What did you achieve? What Purushartha did you achieve over here? So now the point goes to, he has to move now 42 onwards. He will start talking about the Atman and how the Atman has been mistaken to be the body. Okay, so we'll first chant the prayer and we'll start our journey. Okay. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. So, what is the initial examples we got over here? The clay and the pot. Pot is like, we know this body, this mind, we know this person, all that is fine. And then we also know, there is something called as clay also. That which we know, which is that Atman in us. That is, we say, yes, we know that. And then slowly we come to an understanding that, look, along with the pot, as you're seeing the pot, don't you see clay? Yeah, of course I see clay. Where is the clay? Inside, outside, top, bottom, everywhere there is clay. Oh, this is something which now the person starts thinking. And then if I say that in this pot there is clay and clay alone, am I wrong? So the common worldly person thinks and he says, no, you're not wrong, you're right. Because everywhere I see clay. Then he convinces the worldly person and he says, it is clay and clay alone. Because of its form, it gets a name, and because of its usage, it is getting a particular name. That's all. Now the pot has got a usage and pot has got a particular form, hence it has got a particular name. But can the pot be there without the clay? No. But can the clay be there without the pot? Yes. So then which is the higher level of reality in this? Obviously the clay. So clay is like the Atman. So now we have to understand this particular part. So first we have separated the clay and the pot. Now we know that it is that clay and clay alone, meaning the Atman alone, and our journey is to show that the pot is not different from the Atman. You just take a reverse now, U-turn. Now we have separated and we say this is different, this is different. And then we eventually mix up both and say that everything is Atman. This is what we have to. We have to realize the pot is not a separate reality apart from the clay. In the same way, universe is not a separate reality apart from that Brahman. This universe, this body, this mind is not a separate reality apart from the consciousness. And this has got a great impact. If you read Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita Sara, there was a situation where one gentleman by name Mukherjee, he goes to Sri Ramakrishna and he asks him, what is this you say there is God and we are all human beings here? If there is God, then why there is so much of suffering in this world? This Mukherjee asks Sri Ramakrishna. Then Sri Ramakrishna, of course, he gives various examples to him, but that person was not satisfied. Then he tells him also one example. He says in Bengali, he says, Tatto Leela Amra Mori. Meaning what? It is Leela of God, he says. He says, Leela of God, what is the meaning of Leela of God? It is a play of God. We have also heard this. If it is play for him, but it is death for us, we are suffering here. And there Sri Ramakrishna tells him one word. He says, who are you? You are saying it is suffering for us, right? Who are you? Just because we do not know that we are none other than that consciousness or Brahman, we too are suffering. And I am telling you, this will work. This will work. This will work. You have to set it deep within you. Just deep within you. Practice this. I am consciousness in which all this is appearing. So far we were practicing I am drashta and this is the drishya. Now you just go on meditating on I am consciousness and all this is appearing in me. So what we want to achieve at the level of the self in all beings, ekatva. While you are transacting in the world, samatva. And where you want to also perform actions in a manner where you are not the doer, asangatva. All this is backed by indriya nigraha. This is what a sadhak should have. And if you go on saying I am consciousness in which all this is appearing, you will start seeing that samatva, ekatva. And you have given up, you are not the person at all. Even this, so your own body and personality will become in which all your consciousness, and in that consciousness, along with your body, your personality, you as a person and the world, all becomes as an appearance. You are immediately out of the kartrutva bhava. See, these are high profound, high voltage techniques. Now move from the drashta and the drishya bhava and get established in this. I am the consciousness in which all this is appearing. Very simple to practice. Keep on saying this to your mind, saying this to your mind. And when you say this to your mind, you will slowly start merging with the universe. As far as you keep saying, I am the drashta, you are still in this personality. You are still in this jiva bhava. But you are okay, you are trying to get out of jiva bhava. But this is extremely beneficial. Just keep saying that. So likewise, if we want to get out of fear, out of anxiety, out of the mundane chores of our life, which day and night they can disturb you. Sometimes they will not allow you to sleep. So we have to practice that samatva and ekatva. Okay. Now, as we know, we have the background. Now we'll come to verse 41. Now from verse 41 we have done, where Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, what is that Purushartha? What you divided and you made it two, which is not on the lines of Advaita. Now moving on. Verse 41 to 89. He talks of everything as one reality. In that the sections are 41 to 89 as one reality, and then between 59 to 74 he gives 15 classic examples to show that how this is possible. He says the ignorant. Now before studying Vedanta, I was ignorant. The ignorant have mistaken Atman as the body. Dehatvena tatatmata. Everywhere you saw that ending by Dehatvena tatatmata. Meaning I have mistaken the Atman as the body. and all those examples. Would you want to hear to some examples? I'll just tell you. 59. The first classic example is, just as you mistook the mud to be a pot, just as you mistook the mother of pearl to be silver, so too Brahman is mistaken due to ignorance as Jiva. Okay, and then he talks about blueness in the sky, a mirage in the desert. These are all the examples which he is giving over here. So you should, at one listening, you will not get all this. You will have to keep going back and forth, back and forth. Now, up to 74, he talks about, he gives the example of a rope and a snake. Then he gives the example of threads and cloth. What actually is cloth made of? Threads. So, Atman, you have mistaken the Atman to be the body. 59 to 74. Dehatvena tata atmata. And then from 75, what happens here again? Tadvidatmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha. The ignorant person perceives Atman as the body. Again, 75 to 80. And there he talks about one of the classic examples he gives is, have you not seen in a fine still lake of water, the entire forest which is above the lake, it is reflected in the water. Just as the sky can be seen so clearly, when the birds are flying in that water, you can also see trees over there. The clouds are also moving over there. Have you not seen this? So, because of that association, because of that ajnana, tadvadatmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha. Due to ignorance, pashyati, or seeing this. So, then the examples here. Have you not seen while you are traveling in a boat? Have you not seen motion? Did you get confused? Now, you are seeing you are moving in the boat, but you see that the landscape is also moving along with you. Have you not seen when you have jaundice, everything to you looks yellow? And have you not seen that firebrand? It is one spot of light, but when you swirl it round and round, you feel that there is a circle of light. That is illusion. So in all the, just like all these things, because of ignorance, that's all, you are considering this person to be the Atman. Okay. All these. And the other examples are, the sheet of glass is mistaken for a sheet of water. And the reverse also, sheet of water is mistaken to be a sheet of glass. We have experienced this. So, this non-apprehension of the reality gives rise to the misapprehension. And in the lake, sometimes the moon appears to be moving through the moving clouds. All classical examples. Okay, now 90 to 99, after he has explained all this, now he comes to, see, I have told you enough now. I have given you so many examples. Now understand, what is the result one would get by knowing the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is that the Atman is the higher reality and not the Jivatma, which is the body, mind, senses conglomerate, the embodied soul filled with ignorance, of course, which is covered by avarana, the Maya Shakti, which is not knowing the truth. And where the Maya Shakti has got vikshepa, it's producing, giving wrong information. Yeah, you cover the truth and tell something which is not true. We do believe. So, coming out of this, now that you have got this first-hand information, what you are exactly, there Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, you get Jivan Mukti. See, Mukti we have heard. What is the Jivan Mukti? Mukti we get only after a person dies. But here he says, even before you are dead, if you have realized the truth, and if you are established in that truth, realized meaning what? I have understood. I don't need anybody to tell me. I have now put on weight. People will tell you. Somebody may not tell you the truth also. But don't you know for yourself that you have put on weight? I've realized I've put on weight. I've realized I'm sunburnt. So these are your self-understanding. Now the next level is when that self-understanding is there. With that self-understanding, nothing can disturb you. You are staying with that understanding. That is what is to happen. And that is the stage where the Aparoksha Anubhuti will happen. Because as far as you are using your mind and intellect to talk about what you have realized, that is at the level of the mind and intellect. But one step higher, when you experience it without using the mind, intellect and senses, that becomes a state of Jivan Mukti. You are liberated even while living. So this is what he says, the fruit of Jnana Marga. Now in Bhakti Marga, you may get Mukti, but when you will get Mukti? There are different ways now. Videha Mukti they call. If you are in Bhakti Marga, eventually the culmination has to be in knowledge, wherever it is. So how does the culmination happen for a Bhakta? After the body is burnt or buried, whatever, now that soul, it will go to the higher world. And we don't know at what level it will go. Slowly it will keep rising from one level to another, and eventually it has to reach the Brahmaloka. And there at Brahmaloka it will get Brahma Jnana. And then it will realize and merge with Brahman. So that is Videha Mukti, stage by stage. But here the direct knowledge is that this soul, when it has realized that it is none other than this body. Now all these verses, what it was saying, the ignorant mistakes the Atman to the body, to be the body, that's all. Now the Jnani understands that Atman is true and the body is false, mithya. Jagat mithya and Brahma Satya. Established in that fact. And there further, 9 verses, 90 to 99, then he says, what happens to Prarabdha? I have Prarabdha karma. And Prarabdha karma, I have understood that it is like an arrow which has been shot. See, you must have taken from your quiver, you might have taken an arrow, you might have kept it on your bow, and you're about to pull your string, you change your mind, you put it back in your quiver. Fine. You can still do that. But what about the arrow which you have pulled the string and left the string? You have shot it. Can you get it back? No. Then that is Prarabdha karma. That karma which is already moved from its bow and arrow, and till the fall of this body, the prarabdha karma will stay. Here Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he is bold enough to say that this jiva will not have prarabdha karma, which he defies all the declarations of various texts, Vedas, and Vedantic knowledge. And what he says, his understanding is different. He says, look, prarabdha karma is for this body, but this person is already an Atma. He has realized that he is an Atma. So in that context, I am saying that prarabdha karma is not there for this person. But for the body, yes, it is there. The body will get diseases, whatever it is destined to get. The person will get troubles, obstacles, hurdles, challenges in life. Yes, he will get, because he is in a network. Somebody has to get sometimes benefit out of him, so he suffers. Sometimes somebody gives him the benefit, so he enjoys. He says, who is doing all this? It is the prarabdha who is doing, but on this jiva, but not on the atma. Now this soul has realized, this jiva atma has realized that it is the atma and it has left the jiva behind. He makes this clear distinction. So this is the point where I'm saying one has to reach, where you have to invoke this knowledge so much so, soak it in. 100% Brahmakara Vritti. Anything you, now we'll apply this principle. What are the 3 powers of the universe? We used as FEV, frequency, energy, vibration. Okay, this as per science. Now this frequency, energy and vibration translates into what? Now first one is frequency, the thought. Energy is action. Whenever there is, for action you need energy, so it translates to action. And then the breath, which is the foundation of the other 2, is the vibrational aspect. Okay, now how do I do things? I'm in this world, I've got responsibilities, I'm a grahastha. I'm not a sannyasi. Like, see, the difference between a sannyasi and a grahastha is there are 8 things which a human being has to take care. That is a grahastha. Atma, Jaya, Suta, Agara, Pashu, Dravina, Bandusha, Rajye. 8 things. Now what are these? Atma is the body, Jaya is wife, Suta, children, Agara is house, Pashu as animals, just like we have cars now, Pashu, Dravina, money, Bandusha, relatives, and Rajye, profession. Now tell me, out of these 8, sannyasi has to only take care of his body. That's all. Nothing else. So this way, this is the difference between a grahastha and a sannyasi. Now this grahastha, what he does, when a thought comes to his mind, he thinks about the Lord. Bhakti yoga. He is in bhakti yoga. Oh, this thought is nothing but it's coming from the Lord. And then when he gets into action, he says, I'm performing it for the love of the Lord. Karma yoga. Anything you are doing, anything, when I say anything, anything, underline it, highlight it, make it bold also. And then the third one is the breath, vibration. So when he is breathing with the knowledge that whatever I am inhaling is Brahman, whatever I am holding is that Brahman, and whatever I am exhaling is Mithya. In that thought he is performing. Now, if you are practicing this, see, many know, but how many practice? See, in the morning if you go, some people are sitting somewhere. They come to the park, but they are sitting and chatting. Now you ask them about health, they will tell you much more than what you know about health. What to eat, you ask them, they'll tell you much more. But what they'll be eating, morning they'll be eating a vada pav, or they'll be eating a samosa, and they'll be drinking tea or coffee. Now tell me, where is knowledge and where is the practice? So everything to be achieved has to culminate in practice. Knowledge, we all have so much knowledge. Every text takes you to the culmination point of Jivan, of Mukti. But what we are doing, going on studying. As far as you are practicing, study makes sense. But without practice, there is no use of studying. Just to say that I have completed all the 18 chapters of the Gita, I have read all the 10 Upanishads, it is not going to make sense. Okay, now, so Jivan Mukti and Prarabdha he explains in this 90 to 99 verses. Now he says, look, I have some responsibility now. After having told you what is not and what is, and effect of this is Jivan Mukti. By this he tells you, he gives you that a kind of a carrot, Prarabdha. He says, there is no Prarabdha for you. Don't worry. Whatever be the situation, you will be outside the purview of that situation. So he gives you that carrot. And then he says, I am now going to equip you with 15 practices to get established. 8 have been taken from the Patanjali Yoga, and he adds another 7 to this, makes them 15. And if you see, in each and every practice, finally he boils it down to Brahman. My target is that. I don't want to shoot here and there. I only want to ensure that my mind is fixed on Brahman. So these 15 practices, I've just made a slide. Let's take a look at these 15 practices quickly. Okay. So 8 are captured under the Patanjali and along with their meaning. And then what is Bhagavan Shankaracharya's meaning also? We have on the extreme right. Yama, Niyama, Tyaga. Now this is not there in Patanjali. Mauna, not there. Desha, also not there. Kala is also not there. Asana, Mulabandha, Deha Samya, Drikstitihi, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Now see if you can, where he talks of yama, ethical restraints, here he talks about mastery over sense-driven extroversion. He just says, wherever your mind goes, know that it is only going towards Brahman. Because he's saying, the world is Brahman, your body is Brahman, everything is Brahman. Then niyama is steady abidance in that self-thinking. Again Brahman. Tyaga, renunciation, not of the world or not of the possessions. He says, renunciation of that anatma in you. Wrong understanding of what you are. Then mauna, not just sitting in silence. Silence your mind. That which is running after the world and things, silence it. That is the true practice of mauna. Desha, not going to some place where, oh, I'm going to go to the Himalayas and I'm going to practice over there. No. Just wherever you are, look at Brahman in everything. Kala, I'm going to wait for the right time. No. He says, Brahman is beyond time. Know that Brahman who is beyond time. Asana, posture, firm abidance in not sitting straight. Keep your mind completely engrossed in Brahman. Mula Bandha. He says, just like in Hatha Yoga you do Mula Bandha. While you are doing Mula Bandha in that state of vacuum, completely root your mind and say, Brahman alone is the truth. And Deha Samyam. Equal vision. Look everything at the Samatva. That the essence of that Lord is in everybody, appearing as everybody. Drikstitihi. Your gaze, whenever you look at anything, you should see nothing else other than Brahman. Pranayama, breath control, he comes here. He says, whatever duality you see in the world, when you breathe in, inhale Brahman. When you exhale Mithya. And when you are holding your breath, stick on to the truth. Kumbhaka. Puraka, Kumbhaka, Rechaka. Pratyahara. Withdrawal of senses. That is as per Patanjali. Here he says, according Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, whatever objects are there, see Brahman in every object. Dharana, concentration, holding your thoughts steadily on Brahman. It may go here and there, but the thought of Brahman has to be there. It may go from a tree to a mountain, from a mountain to a river, from a river to a bird or the sky, but the thought of Brahman should be constantly held. And then move on. That same flow of thought of Brahman should be in every action, thought and speech of yours. And you have abided in Brahman. The next stage is automatically you have abided in Brahman. So this way he tells us, establish yourself. So after the 15 practices, now he says he moves ahead. Now he completely again changes the entire essence of one's understanding from 110 to 134. See, these are again giving concepts and giving different things to our mind to understand that reality. Okay. Where Desha, Kala, he talks about that. And then the Desha, Kala, Vastu. It's not those three. Then further he talks about it is that immutable substratum for the entire world of happenings. That is, you have to understand it as Siddhasana. Sorry, 135. Okay. In 135 now, from 110 to 134, he changed the entire sequence, essence, made you firmly get established, and then he comes to the concluding point. From 135 he says, Karye karana taya yata karane nahi karyata. Which means what? The cause is concurrent and inherent in the effects and not the effects in the cause. Simple understanding? The clay is in and through in all the effects, which is the pots, but not that the pots are in the clay. Okay, so he says now that absence of effects, don't look at the forms, understand that everything is clay. So you have to move from the absence of effects and be established in the cause. So if you see why I told you about I am that consciousness in which all this is appearing, everything will fit in perfectly. One size fits all. anything from hereafter you take. This one sutra, one mantra, I am consciousness in which everything is appearing. It will change your entire understanding of Vedanta to the next level. Just keep repeating to yourself and look on the same lines. Which means what? In a very common way of understanding this will be like when I say I am the consciousness in which all this is appearing, meaning it is my dream which is going on, and in my dream all this is appearing. I'll come to the next aspect, how to make you understand this better. It has to be that. Imagine you are in a dream. And as far as you are dreaming, you are also personality in the dream. You are also subject to challenges, anxiety, fear. All that is happening to you in your dream. And if somebody comes and tells you, why are you worried? It's a dream. You're worried about your loss in business. Don't worry. Yes, the equity markets have come down, but it is all your dream. Then what happens? You'll feel, oh, now I'm saved. Thank God it is a dream. So, here while waking, while dreaming, it was your mind which was dreaming. But when you come to the waking state, it is the consciousness which is dreaming the waking state. This is something which you need to repeat to yourself again. In a dream, it was my mind which has created the dream. But in a waking state, it is consciousness through this mind, body and senses is dreaming its own, whatever it wants to dream. So whenever you meet a wrong person, you meet a right person, you listen to a right thing, you listen to a wrong thing, you confront something untoward towards you, you confront something very good towards you, you have got nothing to do. It is that consciousness which is dreaming through this jiva. What have you got to do over here? Just like you're playing a role in a movie, you have got nothing to do. You are just playing your role that way. And so from 135, Karye Karana Tayata. Then it comes to 139. I'm just taking the important ones. Karyehi Karanam Pashyet. Paschat Karyam Visarjayet. Karanatvam Tato Nashyet. Avishishtam Bhavet Munihi. He concludes over there. Bhavet Munihi. He says what? When you start seeing the effect, the cause in all the effects, then what remains? Only there is no cause, there is no effect. He says, you as a Muni who has realized, you Avishishtam Bhavet, you only remain. That means you as that pure consciousness. What did we say? I am the consciousness in which all this is appearing. This 139 verse very clearly says the same thing in a different way, that you as that consciousness, when you see that everything is an appearance, so there is no cause, there is no effect. When you have come to that great understanding, you are just Avishishtam Bhavet. Munihi. You alone remain, meaning that consciousness alone remains. And then we come to 143. Since we have this question over here. Now what is this question? Yebirangai samayukto rajayogo udahrataha kinchit pakva kashayanam hatayogena sanyuktaha. Kinchit pakva. If you feel that you are not ripe enough, now mango, you have a basket. What do? You want to eat mango, okay. What do? You see which is ripe, which is not so ripe. You only pick up the ripe ones and you take it for consumption. But the not so ripe ones, you still keep it to ripen. In the same way, he says, if you feel that kinchit pakwa kasha, kinchit pakwa, you are not fully ripe, then he says you go in for Hatha Yoga. But if you feel that no, I am completely right, Samayukta, I am endowed with all the right steps, then he says take Raja Yoga. So now we go to the question and the answer. What is the difference between this Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga? Come, I'll just take... you all can listen to the question so that you have a clear understanding of what the question is.
Whenever you're free, I would really like to discuss. Hari Om Guruji, I am up to date, the latest discourse. I completed it. And so here's what I do have some questions regarding Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. The differences, somehow it is not very clear to me. Whenever you're free, I would really like to discuss that, please, so that my confusions are gone.
See, now this is eventually about your practice. So you cannot go with a doubt. If you feel that you are not ripe enough, you have to practice Hatha Yoga and then come to Raja Yoga. So now let's break it down and understand properly. What is this now? Now, in simple terms, Hatha Yoga is discipline at the level of the body and prana. Understand, it's not at the level of the mind. As far as it is body and prana, which are again the instruments, at the gross and one level lower than that. How does the scheme of the koshas go? Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya and anandamaya. So here the first two koshas, the body and the prana, if you are trying to make them steady and strong, that comes under Hatha Yoga. You just remember this. It's not about going to the gym and then lifting weights and no, sthira sukham asanam. So if you should be able to sit comfortably for say 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes without restlessness. If you are able to do, then you have to do that, you have to make use of Hatha Yoga. Pranayama, breath control, which is inhalation, exhalation, retention, all these different modes of pranic ayama, that is pranayama, which what does it do? That whatever disturbance is there in the mind, it tries to indirectly take care of those disturbances. So at the body level and at the prana level, it doesn't stop there. It talks about the Shat Karma cleansing techniques. What again? For the body and prana to perform appropriately. You have the Namavali, cleansing of the nose, Dhauti, Basti, and then Gajakarani, all this which are removing the impurities at the level of the body and the prana. Then you have the Mudra, the Bandha, what you practice. Those are again to strengthen your body and your prana. Those subtle inward and outward energies which are there. So, Hatha Yoga is primarily to prepare. Like you have a function at home. Some puja or something is happening. So, there you are cleansing the house. You are decorating the house. You are putting some dhoop. You are lighting some lamps. All this is like Hatha Yoga. Like another example is cleaning the mirror is Hatha Yoga, and able to see yourself in the mirror is Raja Yoga. Okay, now body and prana. Next subtlest is what? Mind. Now there comes Raja Yoga, where you're looking for that inner transformation. So in Raja Yoga you have the practices ahimsa, that is the first one. Yama with his ethical discipline. See, this is all at the level of the mind now. Ahimsa, satya, asteyam. Then you have brahmacharya, aparigraha. Asteyam is not stealing. Aparigraha is not hoarding. Rest ahimsa, satya, brahmacharya, you know. This is primarily to remove the inner conflict of your mind. Then you have niyama, shaucha, santosha, tapaha, swadhyaya, Eshwara pranidhani. Cleanliness, santosha is contentment, tapaha is taking various vows to strengthen your senses and your mind. Swadhyaya, continuous study, without fail studying. Eshwara pranidhanani, that bhakti towards the Lord. Now this enhances your mental purity. Okay. Now asana, just like Hatha Yoga, you sit in meditation, you are able to take a posture. And pranayama, you are refining your mind. Pratyahara, withdrawing all your senses inward, where your mind doesn't go around the way it used to go around. It's just like a trained dog and a untrained dog. Sometimes you see a dog which just goes without any commands, which means it is untrained. But some dogs are there. Just the look of the owner, it will understand what the owner wants to say. He need not say also. He will go and do what the owner conveyed through just that vision of his. So, pratyahara. Then comes dharana, one pointed concentration. If you are thinking of Brahman, just keep thinking of Brahman. Some Lord Shiva, you have seen the photo idol. You close your eyes, keep that in your mind. That constant. Wherever the mind was running, now you have put it at one point. And retaining that point for an extended period of time, that is dhyana. That's all. And the eighth one is automatic. Now you washed your clothes, you rinsed the clothes properly, and you have put it on the rope to dry. You don't have to do anything after that. Are you going to stand in front of the cloth and keep blowing it to dry it? No. That's all what you have to do. So you have to come up to the stage 7, and the rest it will get dried in its own way, in the same way. So this knowledge of Brahman, what was your point of focus? Now as we say, meditate on this. I am that consciousness in which all this is appearing. Keep on saying, and you will become that. So Raja Yoga is that mind purification and absorption. Eventually it prepares for that gaining of that jnana. So it is, if mind is not fully purified, let's say, then you have to combine Hatha Yoga and the Raja Yoga. Because for mind purification, you need the purification at the level of the body and at the level of the prana. Paripakvam manaha, what he says. If you think it is not, please involve Hatha Yoga. All this bandha and dhauti, all that you involve. Pranayama. So this finally is. So in other words, Hatha Yoga, cleaning the mirror. Let's say cleaning the mirror. And Raja Yoga is ensure that the mirror is not shaking, studying the mirror. And Jnana Yoga is seeing your face, real face in the mirror. That way. Okay. I think it's very clear now, Shamli. So body is disturbed, focus more on Hatha Yoga. If your mind is disturbed, go to Raja Yoga, more of Raja Yoga. And after both get purified, you are absolutely in the right frame of mind and body and senses to get into Jnana Yoga. Everything will become absorbed. It's like when sun is shining, you have washed your clothes, rinsed your clothes, and you have dried it. It will say in 1 hour it will get dried. But if the weather is not good and in between if it is raining, then that same whatever 1 hour it took, it will take half a day or even more than that. But if there is sunshine and breeze, just that, as the cloth dries very fast. In the same way, if you are at the level of the body and at the level of the mind, if you are accomplished well, then all these practices come on to you much easily that way. Okay, now the last shloka. Paripakvam mano yesham kevaloyam cha siddhidah gurudeivata bhaktanam sarvesham sulabho javad. He says, dekho, the meaning is, look, paripakvam, completely having purified your mind. Kevala, alone, ayancha, this is not going to give you perfection. Hurry, then what is this? You told us to practice 15 steps and you told you do hatha. If you are not completely ready, do hatha yoga and then do raja yoga. And now you are saying that in spite of doing all this, but that alone is not enough. When you have hung your clothes to dry, you need that breeze and that sunshine. For what? For quick and easy drying of clothes. So here he says, even though you are ready with Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, everything is there. But just like you need that sunshine and wind, in the same way you need that Eshwara Krupa, that love and devotion towards Eshwara and Guru. See, you all must have experienced, even I experienced this. Many a times, when our punya is fructified to the right level, we will not get a right, Eshwara Krupa is not going to happen. Very clear. You will be getting all sorts of assorted knowledge you will get. And you will think that, oh, I am doing something, but you are really not doing something because there is no pathway. You may be studying, but if you are not enrolled in an university, you will never get a certificate from the university. So when Eshwara Krupa is adequate, what happens is you get a guru. Now here there is one very subtle point which I want to mention. You may get knowledge, but you might not have got guru. What is the meaning of not have got guru? I am getting knowledge. Then I have got a guru because only guru gives the knowledge. So there what Lord says is, Eshwara says, there is some time where you moving from having got knowledge to having got a guru, there is a time frame. And you know what that time frame is? That surrender or bhakti to the guru. Even when I joined, I feel, oh, I have got on merit, maybe I am paying fees, all that. What is that guru? But unless and until that surrender is not there, you have to hold your hand like this. If you hold your hand at the back, you will get nothing. That surrender to the Guru means not one person here. Please understand this. Guru means all those who have come from the time of Lord Shiva having given knowledge. It is where he gave the knowledge first. Right from that time till through whom you are listening. This entire framework and structure comes under that Guru Parampara. That's why we always say that Guru Parampara. And towards that Guru Parampara, that reverence, obeisance, affection, love, what we talk as seva, all this has to be to the uttermost level. Then you say that the Eshwara Krupa has fructified in you to the appropriate level. Because when I was studying, I was seeing some have that Guru Bhakti to a great extent, but at the same time I saw that there were others they didn't bother much. So there it was, they got the Eshwara Anugraha only to the extent of getting the knowledge, but they still have not got a Guru. and that knowledge will fructify when you get a guru. So subtle meaning here, one needs to understand this. So with this we'll take a story for, what is this? We are talking about the guru over here, and this is a true story again. Let's understand this story. It is way back in the 8th century again, where yesterday we heard about, sorry, I didn't tell you that story. It was, I told in the Kannada class, it was about Hasta Malaka, who was the student of Bhagwan Shankaracharya. So here we are talking about the student Padmapada Acharya. Okay, now Padmapada Acharya, he was his original name was Sananda. Okay, he was studying with Bhagwan Shankaracharya. Once Bhagwan Shankaracharya heard from the other Shishyas, they were all, they call, French talk. So that gossip was going on. Hey, why is this? Our Guru likes Sananda the most. What have we done? We also have been learning under him. We also do seva. We also do many things. And what is special about this Sananda? So Bhagwan Shankaracharya overheard this French talk. Okay, now that gossip. And he, one day when all the Shishyas were there, he was on the other side of Ganga. Shishyas were all on the other side. So he just tells Sananda, come over to this side immediately. Now see, the moment now Ganga river is flowing and they both are on either banks. When Sananda heard Bhagwan Shankaracharya talking about, meaning instructing him, come fast, this side. You know what happened? Sananda just closed his eyes. He did not look, no Guruji or no Bhagwan, there is no boat here. And he didn't say anything. He just started walking on water. And this is a true story where they say there were lotuses which sprung in Ganga, and he was keeping his feet on those lotuses and going to the next step. So that's when he gets the name as Padmapada Acharya. Where his very step there were lotuses, and so he was able to walk on those lotuses. He gets that name Padmapada Acharya. Now, the background about this Padmapada Acharya. Before, what was happening? Now, Padmapada Acharya was born in this Chola Desham, which is supposed to be right from childhood, being in that Desham. Sometimes, some places have got a vibrancy of a particular god. So here he was a Narasimha Upasaka, very staunch Narasimha Upasaka. He was doing tapas for years in Ahobilam, which is very well known for Sri Narasimha Kshetra in Andhra Pradesh. It's near Vishakhapatnam. So he was doing tapas. It once happened that Sri Adi Shankaracharya, he was near that place, that Tirthasthal, not near exactly, he was in Sri Shaila Kshetram, and Padmapada Acharya had gone to Sri Shaila, and there he prostrated before Shankaracharya, and with a lot of devotion and love in his eyes, he tells him, look, I am wanting to have Diva Darshanam of Narasimha Swami, but I'm going closer to it. Can you guide me what to do? So Swami Shankara, Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, see, there is one place known as Chanchugudem. This is again in Andhra. And there is one Parvata Bilvam over there, Bilam. That is a particular uh, mountain over there. He says, you go to that mountain, and whoever goes to that mountain and who do their sadhana over there, they sure shot they will get moksha. So you go there and do tapas, and you will get that mantra siddhi also. So he goes. He reaches that Parvata Bilam, and then that is in Chanchagudam, and he starts his tapas. Tapas to another level. Now, this was obviously in a forest. So the Adivasis who came to know that there is one tapasvin who has come over here, and they got to know that he has come under the instructions of Shankaracharya, and so this the head of this tribes in that Chenchugudam, he comes over there with lot of obedience. He tells Swami, my name is Bayanna, and I am the king of these Adivasis over here. Chanchudara, they say. I am the king over here. And this entire land, it comes under my control. Meaning he tries to say that where you are now meditating is under my control. And you tell me what you are searching over here. I will get it for you. Uneducated but highly obedient Bayanna. He tells this to Padmapadacharya. Now Padmapadacharya, with respect, he says, Dora. Dora means, O king, I am looking for Narasimham, which has Simham as the head, meaning the lion as the head, and the body as a human. Bayanna tells him, Swami, I know this entire forest. Now you are sitting here, you are meditating, and you want all this. I have seen so many tigers, I have seen lions, I have seen so many wild animals. But what you are describing, I have never seen, nor my grandfather saw, my father saw, great-grandfathers. Nobody has seen such an animal over here. Now Padmapadacharya says, it is here. That's what Bhagavan Shankaracharya has told me. And he says, you be there, you will be able to see this animal. So Bayanna says, Swami, if that is the thing, what you have described, if you are saying it is here, I will somehow bind it and bring it before you. And saying this is it. If I am not able to get this in 15 days time, give me 15 days, because he knows the length and breadth of his land. In my land, as you say it is there, if I am not able to get it, take my word, I will end my life. So saying this, he goes off searching Narasimham. He thinks it's an animal, okay, lion head and body of a human. Now, always this Bayanna is thinking of that. Oh, it has got the face of a lion and the body of a human. Constantly is thinking. And with that, he knows such a great Acharya, Tapasvin is come and is doing tapas in my land. And he has asked for this. Somehow I should get for him. See, that Seva Bhava is there. So he decided he decided without food, water, proper sleep, searching all day and whenever possible, even in the night also. But it all went with no fruit. So then he says, what is this now? I did all this, but I am not getting. 15 days is over. I told my guru that I am going to end my life if I don't get this. And saying that, now he says, I am going to do my prana tyaga, which is I am going to kill myself. And he prepared all that which is needed to kill himself. And there, with that nishkalmasha bhakti, what we say, Lord Narasimha appeared before him. When he was about to kill himself, Lord Narasimha appeared. Immediately Bayanna, see, he's a tribe. He says, oh, I got him. Exactly what my guru had said. He is exactly the same. He takes some creepers and he binds him. He binds his hands, he binds his legs, and he says, you don't worry, I'll carry you. And properly ties him and he takes it to his Swami. Swami, see what you are searching, I have got him finally. I got him. Your grace, I got him. Padmapadacharya is saying, where is this person you are talking about? He's saying, either he is here, right in front of you. What you are describing, and he touches his face, and she looks exactly, he has got the eyes of a lion, he has got the teeth of a lion, and see the hair. All that he is touching and showing him, see, he's here. Oh, then Padmapadacharya is not able to see him. He weeps in front of this so-called invisible Narsimha. He says, oh Narsimha Swami, you gave this Sakshatkaram to Bayana, and I have been doing tapas for so many years, but I am not able to see you. Then Lord Narsimha says, hey Putra Padmapada, you know, that ekagrata, that concentration which you need in doing tapas, it may be for decades, it may be for centuries. All that this Bayana achieved it in one day. How? Because of your company, your holy company. And he was able to get me here. Now don't worry, your tapas will also give you phala, fruit. Now this is the mantra I am going to tell you, because everybody has got a process. He says, now you start, because Shankaracharya had said, you will get a mantra siddhi or mantra over there, and then you will become a siddha. So with that intention, he had come here. So he says, you will get the mantra siddhi here, and he gives him the mantra. And when you are in need, I will myself come to you. And that way, Bhagavan, as Narsimha Swami, he vanished from there. This is the story of the satsang and the teacher, Bayana. That 15 days, what he did, eventually he was able to see Lord Narsimha. See that? So this, eventually it is easy and quick. If we want, we have to again and again. What was there, if you carefully see, it was that intense yearning of getting. We say, no, mumukshutvam. What level of mumukshutvam we have? Some group of friends are going for a party. Says, okay, let me also go and chill. Your focus suddenly goes the other way. When we say Brahmakara Vritti, I know being in samsara, you have to have some obligations towards everything, but wherever possible, if you are not able to stay in the thought of Brahman, then avoid that. You have to fill up your mind with that thought of Brahman again. Then it is as they call as the sixth sense, that is which even intellect, mind, all the animals have. What is that difference between our intellect? Which is that special intellect? That alone a human being has, and that will come when you do this practice. And with that particular faculty of your mind, you will be able to experience that Brahman. For that you need to fill up your mind. So the practice is what I have to tell you. I think I'll keep it for the next class. I'll explain how, with some examples I'll give you. We had earlier discussed about the solar eclipse example. Now we'll take another example, which it was again an insight, a God's grace to me at times of trying to explain it better. We'll use that example and try to take our practice to the next level. Okay. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together with obeisance, we offer today's Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Almighty to seek His grace, mercy, and blessings. May His kindness, love, and affection on all of us keep us on this path of enlightenment and bless us to reach the goal of realization. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat. So here we conclude Shri Aparoksha Anubhuti, and we'll now move on to 10 Nididhyasana Shlokas of Viveka Chodamani. From hopefully next class I'll try to give some more I would say insights and techniques how we need to go strong on this path. We'll discuss that and we'll move on to Viveka Chodamani. Om Tat Sat.
शिव शिव भो श्रीमान